You looking to find out what a rent-to-own is? Ever wondered, hear people talking about it? Wondering why this lady is talking about it all the time? Well, let's get to that right now. Hi, I'm Angela Sherrill with Own It Realty, and I have been doing rent-to-owns for the last 13 years. I have a little story. We moved here from Toronto, Canada in 2007. And at that time, we were living with a family member who let us live in their home for a while we finally found where we wanted to put our kids in school. It was over the summer, so we were trying to make that decision. And we were looking at ads in the paper. We knew we had some money, but we just didn't know where we wanted to be or anything. And we stumbled across a gentleman had a rent-to-own program. We called him. I talked to him on the phone. We met with him. He sent us out to actually a builder and got us started in regards to that. And then we found a spec home that we really wanted. And so we used his program to actually get into that spec home. So not only do I proclaim myself as the queen of rent-to-own, but I have used rent-to-own myself. And so I want to get into that with you today. So what is a rent-to-own? You will be renting the house for a certain amount of time. Some of the terms are they can do 6 months, a year, 2 years, up to 5 years. Sometimes you can roll those terms over again. But let's just go for the first year. So the first year, you're going to put a down payment or deposit, we call it, towards your first month's rent and what most people call your damage deposit. But well, guess what? There's no damage deposit if you're staying in the property. So that money is allocated for you at the end of the term of your lease, the rent-to-own lease. And then a portion of your monthly payment, which will be decided between you and the end investor. So let's just, for good numbers, we'll just use like maybe $200 of your monthly payment will go into that escrow account so that at the end, you will have money for your down payment and closing costs. You want to know some of the steps that it takes to get into an RTO? The very first one is to fill out a very simple e-form that we have that gives us your name, your information, where you work, how much you make, and then that will give us an idea if you qualify for that program. Next step after that, we're going to look at everything. We're going to have a conversation with you to make sure it's a good fit for you, and then we will send you on to our end investor, and you are going to go at that point fill out their application and get to them income documents, show for your down bank statements to show that you have the money for the deposit and that you are a good fit for them. So now the end investor has approved you. They've given us a dollar amount that you're approved for, and we get to go shopping. So what do I mean by we get to go shopping? There is a determined area. So they have a map of what areas that they would be willing to purchase homes in. And there's a reason for that. One of the reasons, it's resale for yourself if you bought the house. It's resale for them if you don't complete the process. It's some of those things include your better schools, not next to a highway, not next to those high tension wires, big water towers, anything that would kind of deter somebody else from purchasing later is some of their criteria. So there is a map of where they're going to be able to purchase, and we'll go over that in depth when we start our looking. But the good thing about this program is it actually lets you be the home buyer. You and I will go out and look at these houses and determine if it's a right fit for you and your family. And it will determine if it's a right fit for the investor to purchase for you. They don't want a property that's going to have a whole bunch of tick-tacky things that need to be finished on it, and then you're moved in and now you feel like you're in a money pit. So they want it pretty much in move-in condition. You found the house you want. You're like, Angela, this is the one I need. This is the one that works best for my family. And so we send that over to the investor and they write up an offer and make a cash offer for that. Well, we know in this market that that's a really good thing to have cash money to be able to help you compete against other offers that might have to have a mortgage and may not be able to close sometimes in time. So that cash offer gives those sellers a little bit more reassurance, which is a great thing for you. Gives you a little more guarantee that you're going to get that property. Their offer has now been accepted. What's the next step after that? The investor is going to do an inspection, appraisal, and make sure that it passes all those things that you would be doing as you were the actual homeowner, but they're going to do it for you. So they're going to have that inspection done. They're going to have a qualified inspector come out, make sure that there is no termite damage, make sure everything functions properly. Then they're going to do an appraisal, which is going to allow them to know that the value of that property is there. You know, they may have had to bid over, maybe they went down. They just want to know that the property value is what it is and that they're getting it at a price for you that is decent. After we've been through all of that, it comes down to being around 21 days to get all this due diligence done, and it's closing day. And guess what happens on closing day? The sellers get their cash and you get your key. You will have already paid your deposit and you are living in that house now, and you'll have a monthly payment. And we're not leaving you behind, and your investor's not leaving you either. We are all working very diligent with you behind the scenes to help you make sure that at the end of those 12 months that you're able to purchase. But I just want you to know there is a caveat. If you move in there and it's just not the place for you, there's no obligation to actually purchase that home until you've signed a purchase agreement with the end investor. And that would come when you're ready to, hey, I want to initiate my option to purchase. And that would probably be that last month when you're ready. You're going to go find a lender to work with and purchase that home on your own at that time. You want to know if you qualify for this program? I'm going to go through that with you right now. Number one, you have to have a minimum credit score of 550. You can't be in an active bankruptcy. You must be discharged from that bankruptcy and at least have 1 year through the bankruptcy. There are some exceptions to this with some different end investors, but I'm going to say a general rule. Call me if you're in the middle of bankruptcy, and then we can kind of talk that through. The next thing is you have to have an annual household income minimum of $30,000. Now in our market, that doesn't give you very much house. So I'm saying your minimum is 30, but if you're making 40 or 50, then you're going to be able to have a home that's over. It's the medium house price here in Indiana, which is $220,000. So to be able to qualify for that home, you really need to be having an annual household income of 50 plus. But if that's not you, I'm not telling you that, hey, you don't qualify. You just qualify for less of a home. And I get that a lot. What's the rent going to be like? And it's all geared towards how much you make. And then they're going to qualify you for that. And then they're going to give you, hey, with the debts that you have, this and what you make, this is how much home you can purchase. The form that you fill out for us and the one that you do with the lender are totally different. I'm just trying to get the basics from you to see if you would fit into the rent to own. And then when I see that you can fit into the rent to own, then I send you over to the end investor and then you fill out their application. That's why I'm trying to talk to you about two different application processes. One's just for my in-house to see if you qualify, and you might not qualify. Maybe you make too much money or you would qualify for a different program. So that's what I'm kind of trying to put you in the right place, because I don't want you to be making the wrong steps in this big decision, because it is a huge decision to purchase a home in the end. Are you excited and think that this program will work for you? Great. Call me, email me, text me, or I'll have a form in the descriptions below that you could just start with that first e-form and get it off to me, and then I'll reach back out to you and we'll get started. If you want to watch some of my more videos or you need more information, they'll be popping up here soon. And thanks. Until next time, have a great day.